Here's Richmond into the paint, gets to the rim, finishes. Bailey Richmond the third.
And that's where Auburn's got to hug up. Coach Pearl is saying, guys, we've got to be in weak side help and clog that paint.
Under 10 on the shot clock. Murphy. And a bucket easy inside, and Pettiford hit it coming out of the net.
And Auburn wants to score late in the clock. They were going to try to score early and be opportunistic in transition, but they're going to run a lot of window dressing, take their time before their actual play call, because they've got to keep the possessions down, knowing, one, they don't have the depth, and Arkansas loves transition.
Tough to stop that guy. He gets to the rim with regularity, and Acuff finds his first bucket.
Really good read, getting denied the ball, and a great back cut with a terrific bounce pass, on time, on target.
Pettiford downhill, turnaround, got it.
And that is a tough two. That's not necessarily when they want to take it. That was early in the clock, contested two. But Pettiford loves the road. He loves the bigger opponent, the bigger stage, the better he plays.
He's been magnificent against ranked teams this season. A drive and a kick, and Richmond off the mark for three. Well, Richmond has only made 1 3 in SEC play.
They're going to have to get the clock. That did not hit the rim.
So they reset it, and it's sitting at 20. It was right in front of the Auburn bench. They didn't put up much of a fight. Thomas with the scoop shot. That goes. And Arkansas much better for 2 than 3. 4 of their 7 shots have been three-pointers, and they missed all 4.
And that's all Pringle opening up the lane there for the easy drive.
Here's Kevin Overton. Back to Murphy. Blew the bunny, and Brazil with the one-handed rebound. Nice deflection by Murphy. And we've got a timeout on the floor. Auburn and Arkansas locked at 6. Pettiford versus Acuff as promised.
Terrific back cut by Acuff, and he can finish with the best of them. And Pettiford, we told you he loves it on the road here. And this is a tough 2 fadeaway. Few players can make, but Pettiford capable.
Kia Sportage X Pro, now with all-wheel drive terrain mode. Kia, movement that inspires.
2% on the season. 1 more to tie it. Right now,
it's a very big argument that he is the best player.
Made a move. Texas Tech does have a timeout remaining. And Grant McCaffrey.
In the first half, this is an Arkansas team that is on a historic pace offensively. Maybe the most efficient offense in Arkansas history, according to Hog Stats. They're 5th in the country in efficiency. And Dane, they go at it kind of old school, a little bit different than some teams in modern basketball.
Well, they're going to take what the defense gives them, and they're capable from 3, but they're saying, hey, if we can get to the 2, we can finish that way as well. They've got some terrific athletes. This guy at the line is one of them that if the 3 ball isn't going, Malik Thomas can put his head down, finish around the rim. But the other thing that they don't get enough credit for is they are top 5 in the country in turnover rate. They take care of the basketball. And if you want to win this game, you've got to make them be in the double digits turnover-wise if you want any chance.
You know, they coughed it up there on the inbounds. Auburn has gone to the bench for a couple of subs, including Philip Jovic, who gets a touch in the corner. And here's Pettiford, fouled on the 3 by Malik Thomas. And Tahad Pettiford going to the free throw line.
Pettiford, that's some really good action. And Arkansas took away the first look There's a little big screen where they tried to get 33. They tried to get 33, and it's not open, so he says, I'm just going to come around here for a handoff. And I think what can really help players get in rhythm and get their shooting percentage up, when you take shots that you're expecting to get. And Auburn does a lot of set play calls, and you could tell Pettiford was hunting that shot.
Pettiford is 8th in the SEC in free throw percentage at 84% on the season. It's an Auburn team coming off of a loss to Vanderbilt at home on Tuesday. They trailed for 38 minutes in that game. And they're undone by a couple of technicals and a flagrant one. And Pettiford, the sophomore from Jersey City, New Jersey, out of Hudson Catholic, has taken his game to another level this year.
And he's a guy that Coach Pearl has brought off the bench a couple times in conference play as well to address some discipline issues and make sure the standard is being met. So he knows that what Keyshawn Hall is going through to a degree, and just says, look, we got to lead by example, and it's made me better with more discipline.
Another Arkansas turnover, second in the last couple of possessions for the Razorbacks.
This is perfect if you're Stephen Pearl and the Auburn Tigers. You're disrupting the flow of Arkansas. You're getting off to a good start in this game and gaining some confidence, keeping the crowd out of it.
Brazil at the denial, leads to a breakaway. Step through jam. Lake Mashalik gives it up. Arkansas will get it across the timeline with Williams Adams, and now Mashalik will take over. They got Pettiford off the ball, guarded by Acuff. Mashalik had a great game against Arkansas in the jungle last time, and this one will stay with Auburn after the failed drive.
Brazil's going to deny the reversal here and uses that great wingspan to create havoc there. And I love what he did of not letting Auburn just swing the ball side to side. And they get the stop there, the turnover. I think they're probably getting another one here as that ball was ruled out off of Arkansas, but they go to the challenge.
Joe Lindsay has the headset on, assisted by KB Burdett. Landis Poole is the third member of our crew today. And they're looking to see if it was out of bounds off of Auburn or Arkansas. And looks clear that it was on Mashalik's right hand, even though he got touched before.
Yeah, John Calipari did not hesitate once he got word from behind the bench.
And so it'll be Arkansas basketball after the review.
Now the good news is you get the ball back if you're Arkansas. The bad news is you had to use your challenge on it. You can use it one more time, but that's the max that you have for the rest of the game.
That was a no-brainer, so Arkansas gets the possession. Hogs have made 4 of their last 5 from the floor. But Arkansas is 0 for 4 from deep. Brazil with the ball fake.
Look at Mashalik down low, holding his own against Pringle, boxing out.
Acuff knocks down the first triple of the game for Arkansas. Mashalik gives Auburn on average 5 minutes a game. He didn't get off the bench against Vanderbilt last time out. Jovic has it rejected by Brazil. And then a foul in the backcourt, and Acuff is down and holding his left foot and left ankle. And good to see him pop right back up on his feet.
You're not kidding. One of the most dynamite players in the country at the point guard position. I'm not saying he's the best player in the country, but he might be the most valuable to his team.
Watch his left ankle. Jovic falls into it. Kind of like how you see offensive linemen get hurt all the time. Brazil took a shot to the face on the block. He's got blood coming out of his nose and on his upper lip. Good to see Acuff moving well.
And Brazil's been playing really tough for Arkansas, kind of known as a shot blocker, stretch four guy, but he's been winning the toughness plays and the physicality that Coach Cal needs from him.
Richmond through traffic, left-hand scoop. Strong hand, he's got 4 early, and Arkansas opens up a 4-point advantage thanks to a 7-0 run.
And this is with Auburn going to their bench where they lack depth this game, and they're got to be able to hold their own when Pettiford is trying to get some minutes on the bench.
Pettiford will check in the next dead ball. That might not be until the under-12 timeout. Overton on the handoff, guarded by Acuff. Gets into Pringle. And another empty possession for the Tigers. Jovic ties them up. And he'll go back the other way. And so Pettiford back on the floor for Auburn. Stephen Pearl was telling us at shoot-around today he's got to be very deliberate about getting Michalek into the game and some minutes for Simon Walker and trying to ease the load on Pettiford from a workload standpoint.
It seems like that one steal by Brazil for the dunk, it just really changed the momentum. Even for a brief period, you can tell Arkansas no longer playing on their heels, not playing hesitant.
Carter Knox on the floor for the first time this game for Arkansas. He did not play in the blowout win against LSU in Baton Rouge. Pringle to Acuff, back to Pringle. Nice two-man game, and Jovic whistled for the foul. He thought Pringle had lost it on the way up.
It's a good two-man game on that side of the court, and Auburn is not going to let Acuff see a lot of space. He's going to see bodies and get a ton of attention, so Acuff just continues to make the right read time and time again.
So it puts Nick Pringle at the free throw line, graduate out of Seabrook, South Carolina. A few different stops in the SEC for Pringle, Alabama, then South Carolina, now here in Fayetteville with the Hogs. Just 64% from the line on the year.
Tom, going back to Acuff and his decision making, it reminds me of Tyler Eulis, now an assistant with Arkansas, who was such a star at Kentucky for John Calipari. I can't remember a better decision maker since covering the league than this guy. I mean, just controlled tempo, pace, two-way player. He was not only player of the year, but also defensive player of the year in the league. And what a luxury to have a guy like that for Acuff to develop under.
And that team that went 38-0 under John Calipari for losing in the Final Four. Arkansas picks up Auburn full court. Pettiford will be guarded by Acuff. Pair of 5-stars going head-to-head. Arkansas on an 8-0 run. Auburn is in a scoring drought of 3 minutes plus now.
Arkansas's been very physical, not letting Auburn run their stuff, blowing up screens.
Knox ahead to Richmond. Step through with the offhand, finishes again. Billy Richmond is off to a sizzling start for the Razorbacks. And a foul charged to Carter Knox, trying to deny the post pass, and that will give Auburn a breather, and much needed because the Hogs are off and running.
John Calipari said, if we run and we sprint in transition, we don't have to worry about Auburn's half-court defense. Billy Richmond, message received. Nice bucket with the offhand.
Sir, I've chartered a flight path to the Super Bowl. This is the way.
We're going to the Super Bowl.
We gotta move.
Be on your best behavior.
One big happy family.
I'm going too.
Everybody got their ticket?
See you in 2027.
Inside the NBA has it all. The hustle, the swag,
No, let's drip right here.
and whatever's going on here.
I don't know that, man.
Home of Inside the NBA, all season, playoffs, and finals long.
Hockey is here. The Spinorama's here. Intensity coming in hot here. The final playoff push and the Stanley Cup final. Oh, it's here, baby, on ESPN.
college coverage on ESPN.
It's an amazing game. This thriller. With deadly efficiency. What a finish. A very big argument that he is the best player on the planet.
38 seconds to go. We're on the 1-yard line. 4th down. We call timeout. You want Philly?
That's it.
This isn't the play of the game, folks. This is the play of the season.
RJ Decker, I'm a private investigator.
What happened to your eye?
It's complicated.
Well, how about Billy Goat, Billy Richmond III, impacting this game early?
He does so many things for this team. We see him get to the rack. He can throw the backdoor pass, and you know what he can do on the defensive end of the court. He is a guy that the Arkansas staff can just say, hey, Billy, the other team's got a guy going off. Go shut him down. He can switch 1 through 5. He is the glue to this Arkansas team. And if he can score, it's a bonus. But he can also impact the game without scoring at all.
Auburn desperate for some offense coming out of the timeout. Razorbacks have scored the last 10 in this game. That's off the side of the backboard, but they get a putback Keyshawn Murphy. He's got 4 of the 11 for the Tigers.
It's an opportunity for Auburn, I think, to get their offense going a little bit. This is one of Arkansas's better offensive teams.
Whoa!
As you see right there. But on the defensive side, they do miss Pringle when he's out of the game.
Lake Ewan playing in the mass thanks to 4 stitches on his forehead from an errant elbow in the LSU game. Pettiford over Acuff. And Malik Thomas with the rebound. Here come the Hogs trying to push the tempo. Lob. Ewan again, and he gets held on his way to the rim. It'll be the first on Freeman. Should have this been goaltending?
Well, was it above the cylinder? Because Billy Richmond almost makes this shot. I would say yes.
DJ Wagner in the game. He missed last couple of games with an injury. Meanwhile, Acuff squeezes off a quick 3. That's his second triple of the game.
The confidence he plays with. Yes, there was a hand in his face, but he knew he had enough space and a clean look at the rim.
It is a 15-2 Arkansas run, and Auburn is desperate to find some offense. Here's Keyshawn Murphy. Nice rotation on the jump hook. He has been a weapon for him. Meanwhile, Arkansas started this game 0 for 3, but the Razorbacks have made 9 of their last 10. And Knox has it blocked. And we got a foul from the left wing. And that'll go against Sebastian Williams-Adams. And a shooting foul for Carter Knox in Arkansas.
And I know it's good to have Knox and Wagner back in the rotation, and from a depth standpoint, it certainly helps. But this is an Arkansas team that also found a pretty good rhythm playing less. And I think it's been good for guys to play without fouling. Coach Calipari referenced that in his press conference. He said, look, the less guys you play, the smarter they have to play on the defensive end because they know they can't get in foul trouble. And with those guys out, I think it's arguably made them a little bit better defensively in the half court.
Knox 1 of 2 from the free throw line. Freeman gets cut off. This is an Auburn team that is just 5 for 13 to start this game. 0 for 2 from 3.
I think Arkansas has done a nice job not letting them run their stuff. They're busting through screens, not getting hit.
Overton had it stripped away. Great defense by Carter Knox, and then Pettiford with the tip. Dan, thank you. Welcome to the Basketball Palace of Mid-America, Bud Walton Arena, where the 21st-ranked Razorbacks are a game and a half behind Florida in the SEC race. Tom Hart alongside Dane Bradshaw. We welcome those of you who just watched Texas Tech handle Arizona in overtime. Third win overall against number one in Texas Tech's history. Murphy with the foul for Auburn. Here's a look at our game summary. Darius Acuff Jr. has 8 points, including a couple of threes. Arkansas went on a 10-0 run to take control of this game. The big story for Auburn, they're without their leading scorer, Keyshawn Hall, who had 30 in the previous matchup between Auburn and Arkansas. He's in street clothes tonight, suspended for this game, and that is a massive offensive weapon, Dane, that they desperately miss at this point through the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, and especially where their offense is a little bit of a funk right now. He's top 3 in the country at getting to the free throw line, so they missed that weapon of being able to stop the bleeding on the rope, put your shoulder down, and get to the stripe, and without him, they're going to have their best defensive effort of the season.
Pringle's got one more free throw coming his way. Auburn is second in the country in free throws made and free throws attempted. Tigers have been to the line 3 times tonight. Meanwhile, 6th free throw coming for Arkansas.
Tom, Arkansas has done a really nice job the past few minutes of not settling from 3. To start this game, they shot 3 triples early. That's what Auburn wants them to do. The Tigers want to clog the paint, make Arkansas beat them from 3. Arkansas has done a good job of initiating contact, putting their head down, getting to the paint.
Simon Walker, number 10 in blue, has entered the game for Auburn. Stephen Pearl dealing with a short bench and trying to find rest where he can for his key players. Pettiford is the primary scorer on the floor for Auburn right now. He had 21 in the previous matchup. Murphy fouled on his way in. And Keyshawn Murphy has turned into a key piece for Stephen Pearl. First year as a head coach after taking over for his dad, who took Auburn to a pair of Final Fours. Longtime assistant here with Auburn, and I asked him, what do you remember from when you guys came in here as number 1 and got upset on this court? He said, I don't remember that game. I remember when we came back and handed them their biggest loss in the history of this building.
I got to give Stephen Pearl a lot of credit, too, because with the pressure of being a first-year coach, the pressure of taking over the program for your father who had such success here, he has shown the discipline to, he's had Tahad Pettiford not start a couple games this year in conference play that were important, and here you are, you're riding a 3-game losing streak, and you want to send a message to your team about the standard of the program. You put a 20-point scorer in street clothes to send a message. There's not a lot of guys that will do that, whether they're first year or not.
Here's Acuff for 3, and one of the nation's top freshmen, and that's saying something. Already has 11 for the Razorbacks, and the lead is 11.
And having Wagner back allows Acuff to not have to play as the primary ball handler, playing off the ball some now.
Another mid-range shot for Tahad Pettiford. He's got 7. He's going to carry the load for Auburn tonight. And they're going to use a timeout. Darius Acuff Jr. doing Darius Acuff Jr. thing.
Yeah, 11 minutes, 11 points. Acuff absolutely in fuego.
Corona Sunbrew. Zesty citrus. Orangey lime. Juice y Corona.
Hey, Meta, film this in slow-mo. Yeah!
Taco Bell's new Lutz Value menu has so much Lutz, it's starting to go to people's heads. I'm the Lutziers.
Which is the mini taco salad fork?
Here to help them cope. 10 extravagant indulgences, all $3 or less.
Imagine if I wasn't wearing a seatbelt. Prevention is critical. That's why I recommend Colgate Total.
It's 15 times more effective at fighting the root cause of oral health problems. Prevent problems before they start.
Happy Valentine's Day. They'll be celebrating in Santa Clara tonight. It's the last WCC regular season matchup between Gonzaga and Santa Clara. Santa Clara has won 9 straight since it lost to Gonzaga in January. And Santa Clara, Dane, looking to make it back to the NCAA tournament for the first time since 1996. These two programs have been in the same league for 46 years. It comes to an end after this season. That's 10:30 Eastern right here on ESPN. Tom Hart, Bradshaw. Arkansas off to a red-hot start. And similar numbers to what they put up this season. They're shooting 57% from two on the year. They're better than that. They're at 100% so far tonight.
Yeah, they are, and they lead the conference at 60% in conference play from two. And I think that's a credit to, one, their transition game. They're able to get out, get easy buckets. But they also have multiple guys that can get you a paint touch, cause rotations. You got Acuff, you got Malik Thomas. Billy Richmond can put pressure on the rim. When you can do those things and have that much of an arsenal offensively, good things will happen in the paint.
Here's Jovic working on Brazil. Great shot blocker. Jovic maybe rushed it. And a loose ball rebound corralled by Auburn. Overton gives him 13 points a game. He has yet to score tonight. 10 on the shot clock. Here's Overton, guarded by the freshman Thomas. 16-footer, no good. Jovic, another crack at it for Auburn. And it's stolen away by Billy Richmond. Hello! On their feet at Bud Walton Arena. Pettiford. Whoa! What an answer jam by Keyshawn Murphy, who's now into double figures.
You think we got some athletes on the court? I mean, my goodness. But how about Billy Richmond just jumping that passing lane, and the rest is history. Unbelievable.
Brazil got away with one, and they get him for the walk. Billy Richmond III. Calipari calls him the GOAT. Billy GOAT and Rise.
I mean, and it starts really with the way he anticipated that skip pass, and Keyshawn Murphy with a dunk of his own. But Billy Richmond just turned this place into a jump park.
And yeah, he needs a sponsorship with goats on the roof. So Pettiford and Acuff, five-star matchup at the point guard position. Tahad telling us today, I really don't pay attention when it's a guy like that. I know who's on the draft boards, but I don't care. It's just about going against the guy who's across from him.
I think he's shown a lot of maturity. He's had some adversity this year, and he's had to grow up some because he's really the only returning player on an Auburn team that lost so much production from last year.
Tigers went zone. It turns into a takeaway, and Pettiford is able to get a steal and a bucket in a timeout used by John Calipari. He's not happy with Trevin Brazil. Auburn has closed with a 6-0 run.
We've got our eye on everything going on. Plus, we'll recap a figurative fist fight in Tucson, a literal fist fight in Providence, and a TKO in Ames. Coach, Auburn's hanging around.
Well, they can't get, Arkansas can't get any separation. If you're Stephen Pearl, you're happy with where you're at right now, especially without Keyshawn Hall.
I'm just telling you, Arkansas's best player right now is Billy Richmond. His energy in transition and his defensive energy has really helped him. Acuff is playing terrific as usual.
Tom, Richmond is a lot of fun to watch, and we look forward to recapping a full day so far when we see you at the half.
By KC, thanks. Yet this is leaning towards being the Billy Richmond game of his career. What a start for him. Meanwhile, Keyshawn Murphy, with Auburn playing without Keyshawn Hall, has carried his weight tonight. This is what would have been an and one, but he's got 16 to lead Auburn. He averages 10 a game.
Yeah, he likes this matchup. He was the best big on the floor when they played Arkansas last time. And there's a comfort level here for Murphy.
Here's Ewan playing maskless now, trying to saw that Auburn zone, and that has slowed Arkansas down a bit.
And you see Auburn slowing it down, walking it up the court intentionally. It's not that they can't play fast. They just know for this specific game, gives them the best chance.
Pettiford 4 for 5 from the floor. He loves that mid-range right there on the floor, and they get him for the foul. It's a hot Pettiford for the push-off.
Yeah, he kind of gets stuck there in that mid-range, couldn't get it off. He's got to keep using the rest of the clock. There's been a couple times he's found himself with 10 to 12 seconds, and he's trying to force a tough one mid-range.
Houston, Iowa State will be a barn burner Monday night at Hilton. Houston a game-and-a-half lead now in the Big 12 after Arizona was upset at home. Leading into our game by Texas Tech. What a game for JT Toppin. Here's that 2-3 zone again. Thomas off balance, got a bump from Overton. And that is the first on Kevin Overton. Sunday afternoon over on ABC, it's a women's doubleheader. 1 Eastern, number 21 North Carolina meets 11th ranked Duke in the Battle of the Blues. And Madison Booker and 4th ranked Texas take on number 22 Tennessee on Rocky Top. Both games also available on the ESPN app. And neither coach at Texas or at Tennessee seems to be very happy with their respective programs, even though Tennessee blew out Missouri on Thursday night.
And not afraid to be vocal and outspoken about it publicly, as Vic Schaefer let his thoughts be known that he needs more heart from his team, and Kim Caldwell doing the same.
You think he wanted more heart just because it was Valentine's Day?
Maybe they made up today.
Here's Malik Thomas at the free throw line. One of two fantastic freshmen in John Calipari's backcourt. It's the highest scoring freshman duo in college basketball. And if that wasn't good enough, well, Cal just added the number 3 recruit in the nation today for next year's class. Or pardon me, yesterday they got it. Murphy going to work again and used every bit of the rim for that bounce. An 18-point first half for Keyshawn Murphy, who transferred to Auburn from Mississippi State.
Arkansas has good rim protection, but if you can give them the first bump, you can get good looks if they don't block your shot. They're not great at their two-point defense.
Richmond ball fake. And the loose ball picked up by Thomas. Another crack at it for the Hogs. Acuff. This Auburn zone has stymied Arkansas and has really slowed the tempo of this game. Brazil with the jump stop. And Stephen Pearl wouldn't mind this thing to be played in the mud. Clock is off. 5. And now Williams-Adams. 2 on the clock. Pettiford heaves. And that was in and out. Auburn wouldn't have minded that to fall down. It's a 6-point lead at the half. Hogs are 15-1 on the season when leading at the break. What a start for Keyshawn Murphy. 18 points on 8 of 12 shooting. And Billy Richmond, the third. Murphy with 18 on 8 of 12 shooting to make up for the loss of Keyshawn Hall tonight. Richmond is nearly at his career high, which is 15. And Arkansas doing a better job on the break. That has led to the Razorbacks being 12 for 12 at the rim on layups and dunks. And Pringle with an unwise personal foul. The second in, and that is his third.
Well, that's a big deal because Arkansas is at their best defensively with Nick Pringle in the game. I mean, the analytics say with his on-off splits, they are +9 better when he is on the court defensively per 100 possessions.
Here's Overton for 3. They didn't get anything from Overton in the first half. Scoreless for a guy who is third on the team in scoring per game.
Yeah, they can't win this game if Overton stays cold like this. They must get a third score.
Acuff whistles it into Brazil. Nice finish. Darius Acuff Jr. just his second Razorback to get 500 points and 150 assists in a single season, and give him another assist on that one. He Mayberry did it a couple of times.
And if you move without the ball, Acuff will find you. You'll be rewarded for hard cuts.
And Brazil with the block. Malik Thomas picks it up to Acuff, to Richmond. Folks in the building tonight are going to be talking about Billy Richmond all week. 3 ball, skips off the rim, and a foul underneath will go against Arkansas and Malik Thomas.
Acuff just makes everybody better. Look at the vision here as he finds the cutting Brazil coming off that corner cut, and then you'll see the transition bucket as well. After the block, they want to make it a track meet and just throw that thing up. Billy Richmond's like, man, that's too easy. Throw it higher. I can catch it at the top of the square.
You know, it's fitting because here in town this weekend, they got a track meet over at the indoor that's featuring 14 different Olympians of the fastest indoor track in the country. And Arkansas basketball is saying we should be on that track. 20 now for Murphy.
And it just seems like every time Arkansas gets a highlight reel dunk and the crowd gets live, Auburn comes back with a bucket.
Brazil with the pump fake. Here's Richmond again. I thought it was bold of you to challenge gold medal winner Noah Lyles to the 100-meter dash at the hotel last night.
He was making stuff up. But I'll be surprised how well they run after not having hot water at that hotel. Let's see how loose they are. If nobody breaks any records in that track, we're going to have to bring that back to how well do you run when you're taking cold showers?
Stephen Pearl had to deal with that this morning. He said, it's not like my usual cold plunge. Brazil up high for the rebound. John Calipari saying, bring it out, let's slow it down. And he'll joystick this game and get a play call in to Acuff. Here's Thomas to Richmond. Tried to go high-low, it didn't work. And now with the shot clock winding down, the lefty Richmond uses every bit of the rim. I said they're going to be talking about him this week. They're going to be talking about him for a long time after this game tonight.
And it's not because of his scoring output, but I've felt all season this guy has a real shot at having a long career in the NBA. I mean, he's a terrific defender. As a defender, he's like a human escape room. I mean, he will just lock you up. And then if he scores as well, now all of a sudden, you really have no chance as an opponent because he impacts the game in so many other ways.
Got a quick tape job from the athletic trainer, Matt Townsend, without leaving the floor. Townsend put a little band on his left forearm. Richmond's got a career high 16. Here's Acuff. And he flashes down another three. His fourth of the night.
Again, that's Richmond just getting inside the three-point line, draws the defender, makes the right read. Acuff has quietly put up an efficient 14 points.
Acuff is having a historical season among the SEC freshmen that have played over the last 20 years or so. He joins Ben Simmons and John Wall as the only freshman to reach 500 points and 150 assists in a season. Thomas with the dish, Brazil for three. And Thomas got thrown down. That'll result in a foul on Kevin Overton, his second.
Tom, at this point, one, you got to come away with a stop, but again, without a 20-point-per-game scorer, Keyshawn Hall, who's out of this game for disciplinary reasons, it just makes it really tough for life on the road.
And even tougher when they're doing that. 17 points now for Acuff. He's seeking his 7th SEC game with 20 points and 5 assists. It'd be the most by an SEC freshman over the last 30 seasons. Brazil another block. He's currently tied with Ben Simmons for that mark. 6 to shoot. Overton. Tough night offensively. And that continues. Murphy with the rebound. And Auburn saves it in the corner. Pettiford back out to Overton. And Brazil gotten away just enough. Acuff 17 points, 4 assists. Give him 20. Cam Thomas for the most by an SEC freshman in the last 20 years. And they're just going to reload next year.
And Smith from PVI up in Virginia is known to be one of the hardest working players you will ever see on the court. A true two-way beast of a point guard. And it's funny because if Darius Acuff isn't having the season he's having, maybe it's not so obvious that, hey, the keys are going to be available for the next guy to drive the car. And so it's the domino effect here with Acuff's performance.
Ewan inside. And that little roll home, he's stuck it right over the top of the rim. He's got a half dozen. Credit this Arkansas coaching staff and general manager Chris Woolard in this day and age and trying to figure out NIL and recruiting. and trying to guess as to what rules will be even in place next year, that's a lot of moving parts. Here's Pettiford. Rejected by Ewing. Brazil on the run. Follow dunk there for Ewing.
I think this is what Stephen Pearl was afraid of, knowing the revenge factor that Arkansas has, knowing that Auburn is shorthanded, a big-time crowd, and bottom line is this Arkansas team has gotten better since the last time Auburn faced them. Much better defensively in the half court and committed to running, as we've seen the athleticism taking shape.
Mabel, we call it hoppers. Hoppers? We put this into this. Yes, this into this. They worked! And they were in the same den.
No. How you doing, girl? What's up? Nice feathers.
I understand you.
It's good to be alive. I have some things I'd like to say.
Lizard, lunchtime snack, giant snake, ant spike bag, slippery log, dancing frog. Enough.
Disney and Pixar's Hoppers, rated PG.
Fiji, basically all of Dane Bradshaw's spring break vacation.
So, if I could have just played for Cal, I want to be right here next to you.
One more for Kevin Overton, who was scoreless to this point. He was telling you the one guy recently from an all-star perspective that surprised him a little bit was Tyler Hero.
Yeah, prior to that, Karl Anthony Towns, guys that just came in and just said, look, they were good, but man, did they turn out to be great. Somebody like Hero, his work ethic, his toughness, and confidence in himself has truly paid off.
I mean, he made it sound like they had to be convinced to take Tyler Hero to Kentucky. He was not a five-star guy. He was a four-star. Man, did he develop in a big way. Oh, blown bunny by Williams-Adams.
Yeah, they've missed a few at the rim.
And then a foul, and Brazil is grabbing his knee. By the way, Biancardi watching tonight with that Jordan Smith Jr. edition. Arkansas is now a top 5 recruiting class in the country for next season. So,
and I think John Calipari is going to take the best available. And right now, there's been some incredible freshmen to where he says, look, I'm going to take talent over experience every day of the week. And he is loaded up.
The foul was charged to Billy Richmond III. It is his second. Keyshawn Murphy has been carrying the load for Auburn tonight, playing without Keyshawn Hall. Hall came in averaging nearly 21 points a game. Murphy has delivered 20 on efficient shooting, 9 of 14. Talking with Stephen Pearl about Keyshawn Hall, he said he just has to check a couple of boxes, but it's really up to him how soon he returns. And Auburn will be going into a portion of its schedule where there are, well, I get more winnable games than what they've been facing with this murderer's row that they've been through.
Yeah, they've been going through a gauntlet. But Keyshawn Hall, look, he's transferred a bunch throughout his career, has not made the NCAA tournament. It's like, hey, we got to be about winning ways, and we need our best player to be our best teammate as well. It's not a work ethic thing. I mean, he's an absolute gym rat, and that's proven in his output on the court.
Acuff scoop shot, and they'll count that one as goaltending. Darius Acuff Jr. with his 6th consecutive 20-point game. He's tied Josh Hubbard for the 3rd most by a freshman in the last 20 years. Jamal Murray and Cam Thomas are on that list.
And watch what he does here. He's going to go off that right foot. Instead of going off the left, the defender can't time it as well. So that same foot, same hand release is where he can really manipulate the defense and get a clean look.
They slack off Pettiford, and he makes him pay. 17 for Tahad Pettiford, 5-star recruit coming out of Hudson Catholic 2 years ago. And just like Acuff, a McDonald's All-America, Jordan Brand All-America, he was rated the #2 point guard in his class.
He could be on his way to his 3rd straight 20-plus point game. So despite a big deficit here, if you can get Hall back to form and Pettiford, all of a sudden you get that 1-2 combo.
Here's Pettiford off the glass. 19 now for Pettiford. Acuff will wait. They're going to use a timeout here. It is a 14-point lead for Arkansas. Razorbacks have outscored the Tigers 21-13 in the second half.
They say it counts. It's all over. Arkansas has defeated Louisville. U.S. Reed hitting from half court.
The unmistakable voice of Marv Albert, and there is the legend U.S. Reed, who knocked off the defending national champions with that half-court shot in Austin. It was one of 3 buzzer beaters that day in 1981 in the NCAA tournament. St. Joe's John Smith hit a layup to knock off 1 seed DePaul at the buzzer. Kansas State's Rolando Blackman did the same with a jump shot against Oregon State. That same tournament, Dane, had buzzer beaters for Mike Jones of Wichita State over Kansas. Danny Ainge had the full court move for BYU against Notre Dame. And Dale Ellis for Tennessee beat VCU. That's when March Madness in 1981 really became March Madness.
And our friend Chuck Barrett on play-by-play radio for the Hogs said, anybody old enough to remember that game knows exactly where they were watching that moment in Arkansas basketball history.
One of the signature moments for this great program, which has been to 5 Final Fours, including 3 in the 90s, 6 Final Fours. Here's Murphy for 3. This has been all Arkansas here in the second half. Great to spend some time and get to meet U.S. Reed before the game today.
I tell you, for Auburn, though, it's just unfathomable. Yes, Pettiford with 19, Murphy with 22. The other scores, 2 for Overton, 2 for Williams-Adams. That's it. They've got to get some additional scores.
Malik Thomas gets it to roll home, his first bucket this half. One of the 5-star backcourt for Arkansas.
Yeah, and Malik Thomas, over his last 5 games, has been 65% at the rim. Prior to that, he was only finishing at a 40% rate. So his teams have been running him off the three-point line and saying, let's see if you can finish and be as good from 2 as you are from 3. He's really stepped up over the last several games.
Freshman from Pittsburgh out of Lincoln Park High School, an overtime elite. He and John Calipari have those Pittsburgh roots. He said, my family knows all about Cal and being a Pittsburgh guy. Talking to him earlier this season, you know, what does that mean? What is that reputation? He said, blue collar, tough, all of it. And that's what we're trying to live up to. He got a start earlier this season as Pettiford knifes his way through and Richmond gets the block. It'll stay Auburn basketball. But for the first time in program history, Arkansas had 4 McDonald's All-Americans in the starting lineup at the same time. That one may have gone off of Pettiford. That's what Richmond was trying to sell. What a game from Billy Richmond.
He's just been all over the place, and you know what you're going to get every single game. But the fact that he's contributed in the scoring column and really gotten the pace in Arkansas's favor.
Elijah Freeman makes his first bucket. Acuff directing traffic. His dad played college basketball for a year. His family incredibly talented. He has a cousin who also played at Cass Tech and went on to play college basketball. Coming up tonight, 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific here on ESPN. They get to the West Coast. Final regular season WCC matchup between number 12 Gonzaga and Santa Clara. They've been in the same conference for 49 years now. Gonzaga, even though they split last year, has dominated that series. Zags have won 22 of the last 24 games at Santa Clara. Brazil.
He was open for a good 3 seconds. They finally found him in the end as he got closer and closer to the basket.
Acuff left the Arkansas bench and exited back to the Razorback locker room. Try to get an update for you as Williams-Adams converts.
And look, Auburn hanging in there. Just 13. If you can get this thing to single digits at the under 8 or so, and especially if Acuff not 100%, you can give yourself a chance.
Whatever Acuff was looking for in the locker room, they're going to send a manager back there to try and find. Doesn't seem to be a health issue. Freeman with the rebound. Freeman beats Richmond and works his way around Wagner for the bucket.
When you see some of the potential he has, he's really like a freshman, considering this is the first year in D1, even though he's labeled a sophomore, D2 transfer.
In the first set, but it didn't seem to bother him. Here's Brazil. Huge rebound by Pettiford. Line for an and one.
Oh, we could see this Auburn team hanging around. I didn't expect them to get it in single digits within the last minute since that statement. But this is an Arkansas team that can get stagnant when Acuff's not in the game. There's not a lot of other guys on the court that create for others outside of Acuff. They've got some good players, but in terms of making everybody else around them better, Acuff's the guy, and he is not out there.
So here's Kevin Overton, who had been red hot from three coming into this game, but is 0 for 4 tonight and just 1 for 11 from the floor. Now 8-point game.
Excuse me, but how many times has Arkansas had a chance to just run away with this thing where you thought this is going to get too much for Auburn, and Auburn has just stuck with it and found a way to make plays.
Here's Thomas. A nice little push from Thomas. Before that, it was the closest it had been since 2 minutes into the second half.
And the offense has to run through Thomas. He is a dynamite scorer.
John Calipari just looked down the Arkansas bench and where is Darius? Well, he just came back out. Freeman off the front of the rim. Well, he just came back out. Freeman off the front of the rim. Brazil loses a handle on it, and he went in and changed shoes. So Darius Acuff was having a problem with his sneakers. Remember the ankle injury. Those are the shoes he had, and he was waiting for somebody. He's like, hey, can I have yours? What size do you wear? Can I have yours? No, go get your own. So Acuff disappeared in the locker room, got a new pair of swooshes.
If I'm at the end of the bench, I'm not telling Darius Acuff where the shoes are. I think I'm going to go get them. Yeah, man, they're right over there.
Here's Pettiford, and Jovic gives her back. I mean, Darius Acuff may have a Mars Blackman commercial in his future. It's got to be the shoes.
Yeah, you know what? And outside of the shoes, he loves that cutoff T-shirt.
Yeah, he does.
Something that he was inspired by with the Georgetown Hoyas Allen Iverson look. Watched some games with his dad back in the day, some old highlight clips.
Dad played at Eastern Kentucky in the 98-99 season. That was right in his wheelhouse. The answer, Jovic has his answer for.
Todd Pettiford's really playing a nice game here. 19 points, few assists.
Here's Malik Thomas, got a step on Pettiford. Now runs him off of a screen to a 15-footer. Rebound by Freeman. Auburn has a chance to whittle away again at this lead. Tigers have made 5 of their last 6. Freeman, after the hesitation, didn't get the whistle. Jovic cleans it up.
How did he get that rebound? He has more offensive rebounds than defensive on. Finds a way to give Auburn extra possessions.
Pettiford. They double him, and Richmond steals it away. Hello again. It's a third personal on Overton, and Billy Richmond III will be at the free throw line when we return. Hogs trying to add to this 10-point lead.
Go straight to the basket, attack and finish.
Cavaliers hang on to win by 4. Next on ESPN, Grand Ike and Gonzaga, number 12 in the nation, but not the top dogs in the WCC. Santa Clara leads the way, Tom. We've got a colossal showdown after our game goes final.
IKC, thanks. Meanwhile, the shoe game continues for Darius Acuff Jr. He's on his 3rd pair of Nikes tonight. He didn't like the black pair, so he's going with the red and silver. Richmond at the free throw line. How about
Billy
Change his shoes more often you change your mind.
Well, I'm glad they supply him with free shoes because, boy, it'd be tough on their credit cards, these young superstars in the NIL world.
Well, he's got to have good shoes. He doesn't have a car. Yeah. He's one of the only superstars that doesn't drive.
Smart
Into
man.
the corner, here's Knox. And A-Cup was looking for another assist. Thomas has it rejected. Auburn hanging in there. Overton. And that one got tipped. Credit to Pringle for the block. Knox, what a feed! Richmond again! It's a career night for Billy Richmond III. He has made every play asked of him this evening. Answer from Freeman, his second three, and a quick timeout and an injury under the bench. Carter Knox, under the basket. Knox grabbing his left knee. Knox had missed the previous 2 games with an injury to his knee. Good to see him back on his feet walking off. On the background, number 11 in white. This is the wrong play. It would be at the other end. So Knox will be tended to by the head athletic trainer for Arkansas. Not a good sign. You brought up the point earlier, Dane, that without Wagner and Knox, it took a lot of decision making from playing time away from this Arkansas coaching staff. And Knox just slipped on his way to inbound the ball.
Yeah, Knox has been a big piece for this Arkansas team in terms of his ability to spread the court, be a three-point shooter. He's another guy that's really benefited from playing with A-Cuff. His percentages from deep have improved since last year, getting more quality passes and knowing that teams have to pick their poison. Good to see him walking off on his own.
Yeah, but they're headed back to the Arkansas locker room. A-Cuff run on the offense. Mentioned his dad, his uncles were legends in the Detroit area. Foul on the drive. Dad Darius Sr. played at Eastern Kentucky 98-99. They opened the season at Rupp Arena in front of 22,000. Lost that game. Eastern Kentucky came back, won their second game against Belmont, and they won 2 more games the entire rest of the season. Fouled on the 3.
What a play by John Calipari and this Razorback team to find the weak spot in that zone, baseline out of bounds defense. And A-Cuff, he's going to throw it in bounds and just immediately go to the corner as Pringle moves a little bit on that screen. Freeman can't get around. And Freeman saying, look, I was trying to get around, ref. I was getting held, but A-Cuff has been just red hot from 3. And I don't know that we'll see this game go down to the wire, but if you've not watched this guy play, he's not just good in the game, but he is clutch at the end of games. And that's where he's at his best. Has the killer instinct, wants the ball in his hands. Everybody in the gym knows who the ball's going to, and you really can't do anything about it.
Remember, we were talking earlier about how Arkansas doesn't need the 3 to win.
Yeah.
They won by 29 against LSU, made just 3 threes. They've now made 7 in this game. All 7 belong to one guy, Darius A-Cuff Jr. He's 7 of 10.
He is a 3-level scorer. We hadn't seen him at the rim as much because they packed it in and just said, hey, we're not going to give you the space that you ordinarily get to create in the paint. He's got a great mid-range, but you're right. He's been able to get clean looks from 3, and that's what makes him such a complete scorer.
Jovic rattles the second one home. Arkansas has won 5 of its last 6. They took care of business with back-to-back 20-plus point wins. The first time they've done that in conference play since 2015. Demolishing LSU, taking care of Mississippi State before that. Richmond. What else can you say about this guy? Billy Richmond is having a night. Pettiford stops and pops. He's got 21 tonight.
And every time you think Arkansas has delivered a dagger, Auburn just keeps hanging around. But Billy Richmond, 23 points. He's just been the best player on the court, whether it's transition, defense, or in the half-court offense.
23 points on 11 of 14 shooting.
And watch how he runs through this pass. It's not triple threat. This is catching it on the go. That is a stampede drive. So he takes advantage of the fact that they're going to try to close out, but I'm going to catch this thing on the run. Therefore, your closeout is way too slow for that explosive of an athlete. Running through the ball rather than catching it in a triple threat type position.
Acuff guarded by Freeman. Little scoop shot short. Freeman all the way down the boulevard, and Brazil got a piece of that. It's out of bounds off of Gilbich.
This Auburn team has not been able to get to the free throw line as much as they ordinarily do. One of the tops in the country, but with Keyshawn Hall out of the game and one of the best in the nation at getting himself to the stripe, they just hadn't been able to get the point production from the free throw line and draw contact the way they'd like to.
On average, you go to the line 28 times a game. It's only been 15 trips to the line so far tonight with under 5 to go. Brazil for 3. 14-point Arkansas lead.
And Stephen Pearl furious, saying, look, we don't want two guys on the ball. They pick and pop. Either switch it or get through it.
Pettiford. Yes.
How good has he been? 24 now, 7 assists, just 2 turnovers. Again, big picture. You get Hall back and Pettiford playing this well. This Auburn team has a chance to turn things around pretty quickly.
By the way, as far as Acuff is concerned, in the last 20 years, there's only been 3 SEC freshmen to make 7 threes and have 5 assists in the same game. Added 2. Reed Shepherd did it twice for John Calipari, and Justin Powell did it one time for Auburn.
And that shows you the second level of Acuff's game, just the smooth mid-range pull-up. There's not a lot of players in the country whose coaches let them shoot contested mid-range shots. Acuff is one of them.
Murphy fouled by Richmond, and it injured Murphy's left hand. This has been Billy Richmond's night across the board.
It's been spectacular. He'll find his way on SportsCenter. There are several different plays that could qualify.
High School in Birmingham, started his college career at Mississippi State. And the guy goes by Spider-Man, slinging his webs all over the place in the first half. Acuff off the screen. Back to Richmond. Arkansas is chasing Florida in the SEC race. Acuff scoop no good. Florida with a comfortable win this afternoon in Gainesville against Kentucky. Here's Overton.
Yeah, if you would have told me earlier in the season to predict what would be the winning record for an SEC championship, I would say, hey, as much as it's an open race, I thought 13-5 might get you 14-4. It's looking like Florida might be in that 15-3 type conversation. So if you're Arkansas, if you're trying to get a championship, you've got to hold serve and steal a couple on the road and be almost flawless the rest of the way.
Arkansas only has 2 regular season SEC titles, 1992 and 1994. They came into this league and just dominated.
Well, I think, too, one of the things you're seeing in the SEC, particularly Florida, we're seeing it with Arkansas, is teams that are getting better as the season goes on. And Vanderbilt might not be playing their best necessarily right now, but remember, they've got Duke Miles and Frankie Collins that have been out, and they're going to continue to get better as they reload.
Pettiford's got 26. It's an 11-point game, under 3 to play. Similar situation, just brought up Vanderbilt, that Auburn was in at home against Vandy on Tuesday. Ended up losing that game by 8, but they were hanging around late. They just couldn't get that push to get over the hill. And similar to tonight, well, just like tonight, no Keyshawn Hall late in that game. Keyshawn Hall has not been available at all in this game. Thomas with 1 on the shot clock. And Acuff finds the rebound. And he takes a bump from Sebastian Williams-Adams. .101 for Darius Acuff Jr., who's shooting 78% from the line on the season, 5 points better in conference play.
Yet again, taking care of the basketball, just 1 turnover. When you think about his usage rate and how many times the ball is in his hands, he is so good at taking care of it.
Women's hoops on the SEC Network every Sunday. Tomorrow, a couple of top 25 matchups. Number 14, Ole Miss goes to Memorial to take on number 18, Kentucky, followed by 10th ranked OU, number 23, Alabama at 4 Eastern. All games available on the ESPN app. Well, the historical references keep rolling in for Darius Acuff Jr. Here's Richmond. Hello, goodbye. Back to Acuff. In the last quarter century, only 3 players have accumulated 63s and 150 assists in their first 25 career games. Trae Young and Lonzo Ball. Both of those two, you may know, were drafted in the top 5. Pettiford's got 29 now after that last 3. He is 1 point away from his career high. And with 90 seconds remaining, back to the free throw line and back to a Billy Richmond highlight.
This will be in the Billy Richmond family for years to come. I mean, you talk about having a night. 25 points, highlight after highlight. And what makes him so great isn't just the athleticism, but I've said it before, the phrase of be a star in your role, impact winning. Nobody does it better than Billy Richmond. His father played for John Calipari at Memphis, so they already had that connection going into the recruiting process. And when you look at who are some of the top defenders in the SEC, Billy Richmond's name is going to be on that short list.
Darius Acuff Jr. has tied his career high for 4 scoring freshmen in the entire country. It's a 31-point night for Acuff. Pettiford with the dish, and Pringle picks up his 5th.
Talked about Arkansas's ability to take care of the basketball. Just 5 turnovers, and as they hold on to this lead, that'll make them 11-1 on the year when having 9 or less turnovers. So the more they take care of the ball, the more likely they are to win. And you just can't rattle them because they've got such stability at the point guard spot. And high IQ players really all around and multiple guards on the floor.
So Williams-Adams to the free throw line. John Calipari had some special guests at shoot-around today and at the game. The daughter of former Pitt head coach Buzz Riddle. Betsy Riddle Bond is in the building tonight with her husband John. Got to be good friends with Calipari due to the Pittsburgh connections, and her mom Betty developed a close relationship with Cal when Buzz was invited to speak to the UMass team before their Final Four run in 1995. And he was due to visit UMass and speak at a summer clinic when he unexpectedly passed away. And Betsy was telling me the story today. She said, here's this young, brash coach that we had met when he was an assistant at Pitt, and he said to my mom, we're going to go to the Final Four, and you're coming with us. Not knowing how hard it is to get to the Final Four. And sure enough, with Marcus Camby, they go in 96. He had the tickets ready for her to go to the Meadowlands, and when he went back with Memphis years later, guess who was sitting right behind the Memphis bench? Mrs. Riddle was there again, and there is a wonderful picture that the family had from a game in the mid-90s when she visited Cal when he was at UMass and they're playing at Pitt. And I said, what was your mom saying to Calipari? Oh, he told him that he had to put Marcus Camby in the starting lineup. He wasn't starting at that point.
Well, when John Calipari says La Familia, it's not just NBA draft picks. Loyal history with all types of people that he's impacted and vice versa.
50-point second half for Arkansas to take control of what was a 6-point game. Brazil commits the foul at midcourt.
And Tom, even though Auburn was shorthanded without Keyshawn Hall, and you knew Arkansas was going to have revenge on their mind, to me this is about how Arkansas has improved as a team. I didn't think they were very intimidating as a defensive team, and especially in the half court, but they have done a great job the past few games of really being in the help side, using their wingspan. John Calipari has been preaching eagle in practice, saying get your arms up like eagle's wings so we can take up space and vision. And they know that defense will lead to offense, as we've seen here tonight with Billy Richmond.
The 6th win in the last 7 games for Arkansas. They'll go to 14-1 in this building this season. Freeman rolls his second one home. Acuff will run out the clock. Another monster night for the superstar freshman. He had 31, 7 threes, the most made for a Razorback in 6 seasons. And Billy Richmond had 25 on 12 of 15 shooting. Auburn shorthanded, no match for this red-hot Arkansas team.